Why do salmon swim upstream to spawn? You've probably heard this question before, but did you know there are actually two very good reasons why they do this? One of them has to do with a very special adaptation that allows salmon to survive their incredible journey. Hi, and welcome to Life Noggin. God. As you probably already know, salmon are born in freshwater, live their adult lives in the ocean, and then return to freshwater to lay their eggs or spawn. But why exactly do they need to spawn in freshwater? Well, there are two main reasons. First is temperature. Salmon need cold, clean water to spawn. If the water's too warm, their eggs will just die. Second is food. In the ocean, it's hard for salmon to find enough food while they're pregnant. They need lots of nutrients to produce healthy eggs and to keep themselves strong enough to make the journey home. So they head back to the rivers and streams where they were born, so they can take advantage of all the nutrients there. So now we know why they need to go upstream, but why not just stay there after they've spawned? Well, it has to do with their special adaptation. You see, when salmon are living their ocean lives, their bodies are adapted to live in salt water. Their bodies have a certain amount of salt in them that keeps them from drying out in the salty ocean water. However, if they were to stay in fresh water, that salt would start to build up in their bodies and eventually kill them. So before spawning, they have to get rid of most of the salt in their bodies. They do this by basically peeing it out. Seriously, it's called diuresis, and it's the process of expelling excess salt from their bodies. During diuresis, salmon release huge amounts of very dilute urine to get rid of the salt. Unfortunately, they can't control where that pee goes. So this also expels a lot of important nutrients from their bodies. That's why they need to be in an area full of nutritious water, so they can replace those lost nutrients. So the second reason they spawn in fresh water is because they need to get rid of all that extra salt. It takes several weeks for the salmon to complete diuresis, and during that time, they can't really eat or swim very far. They basically have to hang out in the same spot and conserve their energy. This makes them vulnerable to predators, especially bears who like to snack on spawning salmon. That's why salmon have evolved to release their urine in pulses, so they can escape if a predator comes along. Once they've gotten rid of most of the salt in their bodies, they can finally start thinking about finding a mate. Of course, this whole process is easier said than done. The journey upstream is fraught with danger. Many salmon are injured or even die from fighting the current or from being attacked by predators.
But the ones that do make it end up making quite the impressive journey.
2. Some species of salmon travel thousands of miles upstream, often against very strong currents. How they do this is beyond us, but scientists believe it has something to do with their swim bladder. The swim bladder is an organ that helps fish control their buoyancy, so they can move around in the water. Since salmon are going against the current, they probably use their swim bladders to store more air, which helps them float and conserve energy. Sadly, many obstacles prevent salmon from reaching their spawning grounds today, such as dams built by humans. These structures make it impossible for salmon to swim over or under, so they have to find another way around. There are some clever solutions being built, such as fish ladders and even elevators to help salmon bypass these obstacles. Hopefully, these will help salmon populations recover. By the way, if you want to learn more about salmon or other fish, be sure to check out the links below. The salmon is getting ready to spawn. Do you think it'll make it? Please tell us in the comments section. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because here at Life Noggin, we love to explore the incredible processes that occur in the natural world, and we know you do too. So join our community of curious critters, and we'll see you in the next video.